Hey everybody, welcome back to Red Lipstick Reality TV. It's your girl Anna. Thank you guys so much for coming back to my channel. If you are new here though, we talk about everything reality TV, and right now we're focused on the one and only Sister Wives. So hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, feel free to share the video if you love the content that you're receiving, but we have a good time over here. For my Red Lipstick Club folks, you guys, thank you for being patient with me. I don't know about anybody else. There was apparently a flu that went around that was epic, and everybody across the country got sick. I happen to be one of them. If you see me take a bit of a water break, it's because I'm still literally choking from coughing. I don't know if I've ever done a voiceover because I was sick. Usually I bounce back pretty quick. I haven't been this sick in years. And remember when I told you guys I wasn't really feeling my best when I was looking to do a live, and I was like, well, I didn't think it was the flu. And the holidays went okay, Christmas, but I just started having the cough, and then it was the fever, the body aches. You guys know the rest. Anywho, I'm feeling a lot better now. Thank you guys so much for just supporting the channel in the last video. I'm over Sister Wives. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I could see why some creators stopped reviewing it. The foo-la-la that was going on, the foolery, the shenanigans that we have been dealt by them basically cutting video from Christine's wedding that we already watched and throwing it in this for content filler. I'm so irritated by that, you guys. It's not a new episode when I'm seeing the same content that I have watched already in a special. They should not have released that special. They should have waited to release the special after this season. That's what they should have done. We did not need to see the full wedding. We did not need to see the background details. Last season was so long for no reason, and they could have kept this for this. Because they did all those tell-alls, you guys, all those look-backs last season. That would have been plenty. Save the wedding for after. That's just my 2 cents about it. I'm going to tell you now, I'm going to skip through the wedding portions. I'm just going to tell you, go watch the video. I cannot waste a whole review talking about content we've already seen and talked about. Sorry, not sorry. But they started this segment. This is episode 16, y'all. It's called A Time to Weep, A Time to Laugh. Lots of weeping in this. Some things I laughed at. But anywho, it starts in Flagstaff. So Cody and Robyn, guys, are doing the infamous off-roading. We have seen clips of this where we see somebody fly off of it. We pretty much thought it was Robyn because she had a purple jacket on, but we didn't know for sure. Now we know it was Robyn, okay? Let me take a quick drink. I'm going to try not to do that a lot, but otherwise I'll start choking from coughing so much. But I did think it was kind of interesting to see these like couple moments between Robyn and Cody, because we really have never seen much of this since like the first season. Because it's almost like Cody didn't want them to showcase him being too much in love with Robyn, because I'm sure he was already getting some flack for that. Now he doesn't care. Neither does she, really. So they're trying to just highlight their relationship all of a sudden. The cameraman is like running over to Robyn because it's all dramatic. And then they take this really quick break, Obviously, she's alive and she's fine. Otherwise, we would have heard about something. So it just feels stupid at this point to be taking dramatic cuts away from things like that when we already know what the result is. But okay, TLC. Moving on, they went to Utah, and then we're finally getting to the wedding. We got to go through one more episode next week of this. I'm tired of it, but okay. I'm just ready to end these segments. I'm just over it. We've seen this. We watched the special. Move on. One part I did like is they talk about Cody and Robyn coming. We all knew they wouldn't be there. Why are we still asking her this question about Cody and Robyn, or even Mary? Y'all know she doesn't have a relationship with them. Why would they be at this wedding? Why would your ex-husband, who you barely get along with, the ex-sister wife who you don't trust, why would you want them at the beginning of your union to your new husband? Why are we asking these questions? I'm so confused. Why are we asking this? Stop asking this. Moving on to Flagstaff. So Robyn watched her, this is the thing, Robyn watched her kid have surgery because Dayton flew off of the four-wheeler or whatever that he was on. And then she decides to get on one. I will never understand, if you watch your kid almost lose their life, that you would then decide to get on a four-wheeler yourself. That's confusing to me. It's not like it's a vehicle where you have no choice but to take a car to work and do those things. That's recreational. Four-wheeling is recreational. You don't have to do that. So I just find it funny that your kid almost died doing that, had a terrible accident that he needed surgery for, and you're still off-roading. Moving on. As she's trying to get up and says she's kind of not feeling well, she says, I need love and tenderness. And Cody obviously is not capable of that. He's busy reprimanding her like a child, like he did many of his other wives, talk to them like they're children, like they have no clue or idea. I'm watching Robyn ride this thing. She seems pretty competent to me. So I think she has a clear idea of how to ride it. And for me, could you imagine somebody constantly critiquing, telling you what to do on something that you've been doing your whole life? She said she's been riding those since she was a kid. So to have a husband kind of talk to you like you're a kid, I could not do it. It would not work for me. I've dated somebody like that in the past where they're just always questioning, telling you how to do something. And it's like, if I needed your help or I had a question, I'd ask you. I mean, a little bit of feedback's okay, but going on and then talking to me like I'm a kid and I have no clue, that would get on my nerves. So I don't know how she's married to him because of that. That right there would get on my nerves. Then she says, well, I didn't think I had a concussion, but my head was ringing. I'm like, if your head was ringing, how do you know you didn't have a concussion? You didn't go to the hospital. You were just lucky enough to wake up out of it and I guess be okay. But if your head hit and then you saw stars or whatever and you felt ringing, baby, you could have had a whole concussion. Either way it goes, it's just, that situation was interesting. But I will say this, I'm going to give Robyn a little compliment. Don't hate me, but she was looking kind of young in this foot. And maybe it's because that was an exhilarating thing for her. She was actually like loosening up. She wasn't so angry. Her face wasn't so tight and scrunched because she looked kind of young in this segment. It's like the youngest she's looked. She actually looked kind of fresh. I think she just needs to stop frowning. I really believe the frowning has been aging her and she just needs to stop frowning because she looked good when she was happy and refreshed. I said, okay, Robyn, you don't look that bad. But when she gets to frowning, y'all, she'd be looking real old. And I think she just needs to stop frowning. Because you actually look really great in this segment. I don't like that she lies to her kids about who she really is. And she's like faking perfection. Like she doesn't tell her kids that she off-roads. And she's like making it seem like a scary thing. Again, it's like another infantilization of her children, keeping her kids in fear. And then faking perfection. It's all a lie. I just wish you would stop lying. Stop lying to your children. Please. And if you're doing the same type of thing out there, stop lying to your kids. Thank you. So we're getting into some good conversations this episode, which I did enjoy some of the conversations between Robyn and Cody because I do feel these needed to happen and they needed to happen on camera and on film. And it felt like these are some of the combos they probably had off camera. And why they've probably been arguing off camera a lot. I see why after watching these interactions. So they have a discussion about him not being romantic and himself. And basically Robyn's like, I'm like, girl, you're getting the same experience that the other woman got. You're getting mean Cody, disinterested Cody. This is what they experience. So can you imagine if that was what you were getting? Why would you want to stay married to that? You wanted to stay married because for the longest you were getting his best self. The other ladies were not. I don't think they ever got his best self. Which is why I'm going to pop in this WTF moment. Put it in here.
A lot of strange things that I don't quite understand. Are you just bitter? Are you rewriting the past?
I don't want to blame you for me hanging on to Mary. I felt like I couldn't get out of that. And you were backing my conscience saying you can't leave.
I didn't say you can't leave. I didn't say you can. I just was like...
Did.
And I said you need to see if you can work it out with her.
I'm not blaming you.
So Cody says the family is in the way of my goals. We have brought up this statement from Cody multiple times over the years when he said the family's in the way of my goals. Janelle has also repeated this statement about him saying the family is in the way of my goals. The family is the only way that you can actually achieve and obtain the goal. So how could they ever possibly be in the way of it if they are the only way you can achieve it? If your family is not intact, if you don't have these wives, if you don't have all your children, you will never achieve the goal of having one big family. So the logic of that statement till this day blows my mind. I think genuinely for him, he'll say out loud he wanted one big family, but that does not exist. And he knows it doesn't exist because later on in this segment, he speaks to that. But for him to think it's okay to alienate, to give these other women only a little bit of himself and to give Robyn his whole self, and to think that these women would want to witness that, or to think that these women would be okay for him giving half of himself, an eighth of himself to their children and giving his whole self to Robyn's kids, I don't understand why you would believe that would work. Which is why when he says that they were in their way, and then Robyn follows up with this statement, the level of delusion for both of them. When I told you I almost took my shoe off and threw it at the TV when Robyn said this, pop this WTF moment, you guys, in right here.
I think you're the only one that changed. I started noticing a really big change in him, but I think all of us were. There was less of this focus on the family, the group, the main part of the family, not the kids out there. And that's where they wanted to focus more on the kids that had moved away. I don't know if I was really changing as much, but I think Mary and Janelle and Christine specifically were changing.
For me, the audacity to say the people in the family, the wives, the other wives, the OG3 changed, okay? Because they focused on their own children that were going into adulthood, teenagers and going into adulthood. And some of them even having grandchildren, which are your grandkids, okay? And to say that Robyn herself, she's saying she wasn't changing because all of her kids basically were in the house, which is why she wasn't changing, because she had nothing to make her change. It just shows how delusional and tone deaf this woman is. It's like if your goal is to ultimately have your grandkids on the porch when you get older, how do you achieve that exactly? If you've alienated all your older children because they became adults, and now your attention is solely focused on people still in the home. On top of the fact that Robyn still never changed the way she raised her kids with Cody. She still never reached out to Christine to say, hey, now that we're in this life transition where you have a couple kids out the house, can I maybe have Solomon and Ari over your house more often so they have an opportunity to be raised by you, to be with their siblings more? She never made that transition. So if her focus was to make sure that the OG wives still felt invested into the core nucleus that is Cody, Janelle, Robyn, Mary, wouldn't it make sense, Christine? Wouldn't it make sense for you to reach out to Christine and connect with her that way and say, hey, Christine, I should have done this from the beginning. I'm sorry I didn't do that, but I really would like to do that. I would really love if you helped me in parenting and helping these kids grow up. She never did that. So this is a lie. Like, not even a lie. It's for her to say people changed. They did not change. Their children transitioned in their life. So the relationships to those children changed. And those children moved to different states, which requires them to travel. Robyn, if you had better relationships with all those children, maybe you would have been doing more traveling. Maybe had you encouraged Cody for you and him to go out and see Maddie, to go more to Utah and see McKelty, to see Aspen, had you been making moves for that, go check on Hunter, check on Logan in Vegas. Y'all were not doing that. So you had a complete separation. You separated yourself. Otherwise, you would have been just as invested as the kids that had left as Janelle and Christine were. And even Mary. Mary's kid is just a lot more distant. That kid just doesn't really want to be around the family as much when they're on film, right? Christine's kids are different. They're more willing to be on camera. So she's able to do the filming and go spend time with her kids more. Janelle's too. Like Maddie and stuff, they're Garrison and gave, they were more willing to be on camera. So she was able to still film, right? But separate herself and connect herself with her other children. So that's why, girl, like Robyn, you infantilized your kids. You have grown kids in the house. Otherwise, you'd be at the house traveling too. If you didn't hold those girls hostage in the home, they could moved out of state. You would have been visiting them. So I don't know. I know that was a very long rant on something that seems very simple, but I just when she said that to me, it just shows her manipulation to me. This is why she has been so manipulative with Solomon and Ari, even the three older ones, to try to keep them as young as possible and in that home as long as possible, because that's what Cody connects family to, is the ones that are physically in the home. I think once they move out of the home, y'all, he does not have the same familial connection to them that he does when they're young and then under his power and in his home. Just a thought. Let me know what you think in the comments. Moving on to segment 2, we're in Utah with Mary. Cody's asking for stuff back, y'all, from a damn 10-year anniversary quilt. The thing is 20 years old, y'all. 20 years old. All of a sudden now he wants back old jerseys, t-shirts. Are you kidding me? And what's crazy is, I thought, from what y'all were saying, Mary had a great relationship with Solomon and Ari. If these kids really wanted, there's only one or two kids that don't talk to Mary. And even if they didn't, they could have went to a sibling and said, hey, would you ask Mary if maybe she'd be willing to give up some stuff from Dad? She's got some t-shirts, y'all. I mean, he's such a narcissist. He's so bitter. He just wants to rob Mary of everything. Melt down the ring. Take back the quilt. I mean, he is just, oh my God. It just made me so sick. It's so ridiculous. Like, this man tries to make her be the bad guy because she made a quilt of his memories, when in fact he's the one that suggested the idea. And now he's trying to paint it as Mary being selfish, trying to hog his prized possessions. Mary wasn't even trying to leave you. You did this to Mary. Mary wasn't trying to leave you. All Mary did was hold on to all the memories from this family. She was literally the memory holder. She had the mission statement. She kept all those things. She didn't complain about it. She kept those things for the family. Photos, everything. So what are you talking about? You act like she was going to just destroy something. I'm like, you alienated her for years. Like, you knew she wouldn't destroy that. If that was the case, she would have done that already. Oh, he's such a narcissist. With that being said, I'm going to put in a WTF moment because there were a few that came up here. Let's put it in here.
He told me, this was right after we moved to Vegas. He said, you have been really horrible to me for 20 years. So you're going to have to wait at least that long for me to fix my relationship with you.
No.
Look, Cody's saying she was horrible to him for 20 years, so she'd have to wait that long for him to be that evil to her for 20 years. That level of narcissism is so insane to me. And Mary gets on screen talking about, well, I guess I see why everybody's been wondering for years why I stayed. Yeah. Yes, he's confirming the evil. He's confirming for us why we were wondering, girl, why are you still here? Why? I'm confused. Why are you still here? She was kind of a masochist. I mean, like, she let that man emotionally abuse her for years. It's, like, unacceptable. And even if you're not the easiest to live with, it's like, so he's just been sitting around calculating every time you were the worst to live with so he can tell you it was 20 years. And so that way he has an excuse to treat you bad. That's insane to me. Again, they bring up this list and not told us everything that was on the list. Stop doing that, please, unless you're going to tell us the whole list. And what I found funny is that the list only includes things that bothers him about her. And not one thing on that list about how he can be a better partner. Because I'm sure she probably had moments where she wasn't treating him the best, but I'm sure some of those moments were also provoked. Like when you bought Christine all those gifts and didn't get Mary anything. You know, stuff like that. when you melted down her ring, you know. Things like that, I'm sure, was slightly provoking to how Mary was treating you. This is where I'm going to put a little mic drop moment in. Drop the mic right here. I just want to give a little shout out to Mary for knowing her own worth. Wanted to give her a little mic drop moment. As I say, manifest it, vocalize it, own it, right? Here we go. Moving on. Segment 3, you guys. We're starting off in Moab, Utah. It's more wedding stuff. I don't care. Moving on. Flagstaff. So, I said with this truth we have that I couldn't find anymore. Like, Robyn saying, so you can't find this with Janelle? You can't find this connection. You can't find this marriage, truth, whatever. They're calling it the truth. I don't know if that's something that they pulled from their church or Bible, weird verbiage, but basically Robyn's saying you can't find this connection with Janelle again. It's delusional. It is so delusional. It's like you can tell Robyn really just wants the religious connection to plural marriage. It's not possible when you're in a relationship with a man that does not believe in his faith anymore. He does not love these other women the way he loves Robyn. So why would you want the woman to suffer when you are in a happy marriage, a loving marriage? Why would you want the other woman to suffer knowing good and full well, because I know that man has told you, that you are the one he actually has a soulmate connection with and he's in love with? Why would you want the rest of them to suffer that? That's selfish, Robyn. It's easy for you to say, well, it's because it's my religion and I believe in it. Well, it's easy to say that when you know you're the favorite wife. But let's just say you were in Mary's situation. Would you be so quick to beat up your husband? Like, you wouldn't even be able to do that because nobody would be talking to you. But if you were married right now, and would you want to be part of a family where you knew good and full well that man, not only did he not really care for you, but he loves this other wife significantly more than you? I just don't believe Robyn could handle that. She's been a monogamous wife because she did not do polygamy with her first husband. And now she's been a polygamist, but she was living almost a monogamous existence with Cody. So I just don't think she could do that. With that, we're going to put a WTF moment in. Another one, I know. Here it is, though. Cody blames Robyn for staying with Mary. Y'all. Of course, he find a way to now blame Mary. It's like, you know how they say, it's like the calls coming from inside the house, and like you start turning on each other when there's nobody else to blame. And that's basically what we're witnessing, is Cody's like, I can't blame the other women, and now I have you, so now I'm going to blame you. I think all along he was blaming her. I think all along he knew it was her pushing him. But at the end of the day, you're also a grown man that makes his own decisions. So you can only blame so much on Robyn. Your own ego really drove a lot of this. And I just admit that and be done with it. She says things like, you say a lot of weird things. Their interactions are very odd to me. And then she goes, you know full well that, he says a lot of weird things. And I said, like, she knows full well that Cody was only in love with her. And like the rest were like for religion, convenience, ego. And he might have had love for them because they were mothers of their children, but he was not in love with them. I'm thinking to myself, Robyn, would you be in a loveless marriage? Would you be in a marriage with a man that you weren't in love with? You might have had some love for him, but you're not really in love with him. I don't know. Maybe she would, but at some point I think she was in love with Cody. I think recently that might have strayed, but I think it's also because she's a narcissist too, so you can only be so in love, right? I think Robyn thinking a woman he hasn't been in the same room with for over a year would all of a sudden want a marriage with him is crazy, y'all. The way she's bringing up Janelle, asking, what about Janelle? I'm like, Janelle does not want this man. And she doesn't like you. So why would... Why are we talking about this still? She hasn't been with the man for over a year at this point. Why are we still talking about them getting back together? Like the Delulu. It's I'm tired of watching it at this point. It's delusional, but it's past delusional. It's almost like you need to be evaluated at this point that you're still talking about this. Why are y'all still talking about this? And then Janelle calls out that he was controlled to that extent by Robyn is crazy. Like, that she's the one actually just deciding whether or not you stay in relationships with Mary. And that she was able to push him to that point for so long. That is crazy. That he could be that manipulated. Okay, so I'm going to end this segment, you guys, with a talk about it moment. I'm going to pop a little clip in here. Let's talk about it a little bit. Let's put it here.
I do believe that when Robyn came into the family, she intended to have a plural family. I do believe that that's what she wanted. And I don't think that that changed.
Do you guys believe Robyn came into the family, that she wanted plural marriage and a plural family, and she wanted all those relationships to work for her sister wives? Tell me in the comments below. Let's talk about it moment. Do you believe those things? Do you believe she always wanted plural marriage? That she always wanted those other relationships to work? Which side are you on with that? I'm kind of curious what your opinions are on that. I will, though, hate to say it, but I'll agree with Cody at the end of this segment. They all need to move on. Move on. We want you to move on. Christine and Janelle and Mary want y'all to move on. Move on, Robyn. Move on. Rolling along, you guys. We're going to go on to segment 4. We're going to be back in Moab. Look, more wedding. You want to know more? You can go back and watch those episodes. The special was last season. There you go. Flagstaff. I was thinking about the continued delusion of like plural marriage. Robyn keeps talking about this. It's like, let it go, or like leave Cody and then go marry a man that wants plural marriage, that can provide that for you. And I'm going to say this, and it seems crazy for me to even give Cody sympathy, but I'm going to tell you now, it's not fair to Cody, honestly, that she keeps dragging this. He has made it crystal damn clear he has no interest in plural marriage. So what are you going to do? Are you going to beat him over the head till the end of time about it? Or are you going to move forward and work on your relationship with Cody as a monogamous family and let that go? Or are you going to go ahead and leave him and go back to the AUB and get you a husband that wants to live plural marriage? Make a decision, because I just do not believe it's fair for her to keep beating him over the head about women he clearly doesn't want to be with, that clearly don't want to be with him, all because you are having an identity crisis. Go get some help. At this point, it's not his burden to carry anymore. It's just not. Goodbye. Cody trying to run away to Europe, y'all, away from this mess he's made here, instead of apologizing and just making amends, is once again incredibly selfish. His energy I cannot handle. I was thinking too in this segment, I really don't believe Robyn when she says she will like always stick with Cody and love him, and I just don't believe it. I think that she always has the potential in my eyes to leave him, to go back to the AUB, to marry into a plural family. I just always believe that. And then Robyn continuing to be delusional and bringing up that he said he didn't, that he has been saying multiple times that he doesn't love his former wives, and her saying there's no way, and him at that moment saying, well, okay, yeah, I love them. But then he steps back because he doesn't really believe that. He doesn't. He might have had love for them, like I said, because they're the mother of his children. Maybe he had a little lust. Maybe he was like a little happy and giddy and young. But for him, when he looks back on that, he does not connect those relationships to, I'm in love with this woman. He just doesn't connect the dots. And I don't know why she's trying to clean this up for him. Let him be the a-hole he is. Stop trying to clean it up for him. This is who he is. It is. I'm sorry. With that, put in a WTF moment, you guys, right here. Robyn, the gift that keeps on giving.
No, that's not what I'm asking you.
Yeah, I loved him.
Okay. Why are you
'Cause now we're
rewriting
not-
the past?
I'm not rewriting the past.
Yes, you have been,
No,
Cody.
I'm not
You're
rewriting
like,
the past.
I
I'm
didn't
being
love
honest about it
Okay,
because
explain
we're
that to me, because that doesn't make sense. He's getting pretty intense with me.
Okay, Robyn, you guys, she's so delusional. The one thing she says accurately is that he is rewriting the past. Like, she's very delusional, but this one thing, when she says that he's trying to rewrite the past, it's the one thing she's actually right on. Right? And then he lies and confirms that he was ultimately has been lying to Robyn the whole time, pretending, making her believe he actually loved these women when he didn't, just to get her. So all the time Robyn's talking about people gaslit her. No, Cody gaslit you. He lied to you. He played the game, and he got you. But you don't have the guts to say Cody lied to me and he bamboozled me. You can't. You thought you just got him, but in fact, he got you too. Because he lied to you this whole time. He did not. Matter of fact, he was happy you came so you could get rid of the rest of them. WTF moment. I got another one in here, you guys. My last one of the episode. Let's put it in here. Let's put it now.
I had a relationship in college where I lost my virginity. It was devastating to me. It was heartbreaking. When purity is everything in the church I was in, that was everything. It's like you're working your way back for it. It was devastating. But nobody knew except for Mary and Robyn. And it was really because I don't believe I ever got intimate enough with Christine and Janelle to tell them. Robyn learned of it the first month we knew each other.
Y'all. These people they are such hypocrites. They beat purity over the heads of their kids. Acted like innocent angels. Robyn, the same for her. Her and Cody both was out there sinning. And they seem to be the most vocal about what people should and should not do, and the most righteous and the most perfect, calling everybody else out for what they should and should not be doing. And in fact, they was out there getting it in. I just find it interesting. Also, why would Christine and Janelle want a relationship with a man that kept something like that from them? Like, now looking back, if they were to find this out, why on earth would they want to be with a man that told Robyn this, told Mary this, but decided he wasn't emotionally, intimately close enough to the women he had the most children with, 6 apiece? You were intimate enough to have 6 kids with each of these women, but you can't tell them that you weren't a virgin? He is not a good person. I'm sorry. He's just not a good person. Moving on, you guys, Cody asked Robyn to let go of the fact that he is, no longer going to be a polygamist. Like, let it go. I think she's going to leave him, y'all. Maybe you can tell me in the comments what you feel. I think she's going to leave him. Maybe not right this second, but in a couple years, I don't know. I just see her leaving Cody. I really do. I think she's going to find another plural family to manipulate. And I think she could do it. If she got her another guy that was like maybe 10 years older than Cody, he would be down. He'd be like, oh yeah, I got me a young thing. I think he would totally be ready for it. Again, for me, Robyn, why do you think these women and their kids should suffer? Stay in this relationship with this man while yours got the moon and the stars. So you think these women should have just dealt with it, became one big family, moved into one house, and they only get this much while you get all this? What about that makes sense to you? Cody calling out that there are no plural marriages where they don't have stuff going on in those marriages. I think he's right about that, and I'm glad he called it out. And ultimately, even he realizes you can't have a favorite wife unless the others are willing to suffer the heartache of you having a favorite wife. I think he's just finally at that point. He knows good and full well. He won't say it, but he knows good and full well. He will never look at those other women the way he looks at Robyn. So what's the point? And he keeps saying, well, I guess I'm just not worth it. And I'm like, Cody, has nothing to do with you being worth it. You chose one relationship over the others. That's it. That's it. That's all. Last segment, you guys went back to Utah. Again, it's back to this wedding. Watch the special if you want to see it in segment 5, but they go back to the wedding. I will just say one quick thing about segment 5. McKelty takes her eyes off Avalon. They're by that really fast-moving river. A lot of places around that site for the wedding look like they could be potentially dangerous for a kid if you're not watching them. I'm not a McKelty fan, as we all know, but that fear of thinking maybe your kid fell in this river, whatever, something happened to your kid, I don't wish that on any mom. I don't care how I feel about your personality. Baby, I don't wish that on any woman, and I'm so thankful that that was not the case. That's your worst nightmare. Your worst nightmare. And we can say all day, keep your eye on your kids. Yeah, but when you're in that environment, all that stuff's happening, all that stuff's going on, you're thinking somebody's got some eyes on them, right? Your parents make mistakes, you know? So I'm not here to beat her up, and I'm not going to do that. I refuse to do that because that can happen to any mom. We've seen so many moms blink and their kids go missing in the store. And you think, and you've been doing everything right their whole lives till this one moment. So, excuse me. So yeah, I will just not do that to McKelty. And I'm very thankful her child was safe. But that's the end, you guys. That's the end of the episode. They're going to make us suffer through another episode of this wedding that is never ending. It's like the wedding that never ends. It goes on and on, my friends. Somebody started talking about it, not knowing what it was. And they'll continue talking about it forever just because this is the wedding that does not end. I'm having a lamb chop moment about this wedding. I'm done. Finito. Love y'all. Thank you guys for joining me again. If you're new here, thanks for staying till the end. Hit that like button though and the subscribe so you can come back for another review of Sister Wives. And share the video if you know some friends that love Sister Wives and love talking to themselves to the TV like I used to do, but want to talk to another person talking or want to like co-sign what I'm saying. This is the video for them. Pass it along. And if you've been here before, you guys, welcome to Red Lipstick Club. Welcome back, y'all. Thank you. Hit the like button. Hit subscribe. Share. I'll see you next week. Bye.